So we'll jump right into it. I can't promise this is going to be as exciting as the last interview with John Catsimatidis, but we'll try. John, Cohen Steers has billions invested in under management for clients in listed real estate. What are the different reasons global investors are using within their overall investment allocation?
Okay, great. Thanks. It's nice to see everyone. I want to say thank you to all my friends at Table 6. They had to suffer through hearing the same things again. I'm not running for mayor, and I won't be as entertaining. I'm sorry about that. For those that don't know, so Cohen Steers, just for background, we manage about $70 billion globally. And roughly about 2/3 of that is invested in listed real estate. So listed real estate, for background, those are publicly traded REITs. It's about a $2+ trillion market. There's about 400 different companies or so globally. And it's something that's grown over time, as all my friends at Table 6 there's 6 people there. I hope I at least have 3 friends. In terms of kind of what's gone on, I'd say over the last 20 or 25 years, there's been a real change in how people think about the REIT market. So probably about 20 years or so ago, people had heard about the REIT market, and they had started to use REITs essentially as what I would call what they thought was their liquid core. Okay. Want to get exposure to the real estate market. This is an easy way for me to get it done. Accept the fact that over time the REIT market, they own office buildings, they own shopping centers, they own hotels that in the long run or over the medium run, the REIT market returns had looked very similar, and actually in a lot of cases were better than what were quote-unquote core returns. And so a lot of it started with institutions allocating to the REIT market to essentially, one, be liquid, and two, be at a risk profile that they viewed as being a so-called core. And the REIT market grew a lot that way. But I would say over the last 10 years or so, what we're starting to see more of, and we were just talking about it, is that as we talk to people, people are saying, well, I don't really care about liquidity. I'm a long-term oriented investor, and I don't invest in Ford. I don't like the returns there. And so I guess the way I would think about the conversations we're having is that it's not about necessarily just about the liquidity. It's become more of a conversation about returns. That people are starting to move to the REIT market not just because of the risk profile, and not just because, I can have daily liquidity. There's been now a 25-year track record where, let's just take the U.S. for example. The U.S. REIT market, again, this is if you were just had invested in an ETF, has had double-digit returns over the last 5, 10, 15, 20 years. And for a lot of people, they'd say, well, that's a very attractive return. Seems a lot easier, seems a lot less expensive, and if I'm not getting any kind of return premium for locking my capital up, and if I'm not getting any return premium for what is viewed as something that's more complex, and my guess is all of you, to the extent you're involved in private real estate funds or co-investments, there's just more work involved with it. That to the extent you could spend 3 hours more of your time on doing venture, as opposed to 3 hours more of your time on doing private real estate, that maybe that's a sensible allocation shift in how you spend your time, because there's been more of a return premium out of essentially private equity versus public equity, and venture versus public equity, but you haven't seen that return premium happen in public real estate, essentially in comparison for public versus private. So I think the conversation actually has changed a lot to be much more return focused. and less about some of the, just about liquidity and that.
So there are some, you say, 400 plus REITs that you follow. And within those, you have domestic REITs and global REITs and active REITs and passive REITs. How do you choose, how do you see your clients preferring their money be allocated over the whole universe of REIT assets?
Yes, so look, of course, when we're trying to look at the $2 trillion universe and 400 different companies, we're going to go about where we see the best opportunities. Of course, some of that's about countries, some of that's about what sector you're in, some of it's about the specific management team and how they're going about their business. But we do occasionally have some clients that, again, you all have your own real estate portfolio. It may be global, maybe it's private in some areas, and so what we're working with a lot of our clients on is essentially how to complete whatever they want their investment portfolio to look like. So we might have some clients where they have a very big presence in private equity real estate in Europe, but they haven't found good managers in the U.S. and in Asia they like. Maybe, I guess a lot of people are U.S. centric, so maybe it's the opposite problem. So for a European investor like that, we might essentially invest to try to be very value add, focused in the U.S. And focused in Asia. And then we'll also have some clients that, again, depending upon their risk profile, we might invest in some mix of equity exposure as well as some mix more on the fixed income side, because they want a little bit more income and they just want to have a risk profile that's a little bit lower than just pure equities. The REIT debt market is about a $200 billion market, so there's a lot of fixed income available there as well. So I would say that for every client, number one, we're trying to find where we see the best value, but you can customize what you're doing for them based on their geography, based on their risk profile. Increasingly, there's a lot of people also that they might say, hey, I got a lot of development in my private portfolio and I can't get out of it. So I want to be invested in real estate, but I want to own things that are very stabilized, very defensive. Can you construct a portfolio of REITs like that for us? Yeah, we can. Or they might say, we got 80% retail on our private side. It's hard for us to get out of that. So for every incremental dollar, how do we put $1 billion to work in sectors that are not retail and that are not office? The REIT market has data centers, healthcare, self-storage. There's actually a very wide variety of different kinds of sectors that are available to us. So there's always going to be some kind of customization, but there's all that where we see value.
And because all the people in this room don't necessarily have access to the Cohen Steers secret sauce of how do you identify REITs to invest in, and without giving away your deeply guarded secrets, what are 3 or 4 tips you would give the folks in this room who might want to dip their toe in the REIT market?
Okay, so we have to have a little bit of an advertisement. So if REITs have done about 10% here in the U.S. in the long run, we have different strategies that have done anywhere between 12 to 15%. So our secret sauce has added anywhere between 200 to 500 basis points better on an annualized basis in the long run. So I think it's pretty good sauce. Look, I think the first way we approach things is that, and we were talking a bit about it earlier, is we try to be very forward-looking in how we're evaluating all the different property types and sectors. And what I mean by that is that manufactured housing companies went public in the early 90s in the REIT market. Self-storage went public in the early 90s. data centers and student housing went public in the early 2000s. So there were a lot of businesses that at that time were viewed within the private market as not a lot of data on that, I'm not really sure it's going to behave, I would view it as core, it's operating intensive, you need to understand the technology side of it, that biotech, that life science, that's just not my business, okay? And so there's been a lot of value that's been created by basically not taking that attitude. If you took the attitude that that's not real estate, there's a lot of stuff that I don't know, so I'm not going to spend time on it, you miss out on a lot of value. And of course, in our overall economy, there's been all kinds of disintermediation going on, not just in real estate, throughout the world. So identifying things that are going to get disrupted or changed, and identifying that this self-storage business 25 years ago is going to end up being a pretty good business. And cap rates of 9, they're pretty high. At that time they might have been 250 basis points higher than core. Now you're seeing manufactured housing trading 150 basis points inside of core or other forms of core. So basically, the first thing is to forget conventional wisdom. It's up to us to be forward-looking on what we think the best risk-reward is going to be. Like I said, the second thing is that these are companies, we can buy and sell them, and we're very value-oriented, and there's plenty of companies that own bad real estate that are managed by bad companies that have been our best investment opportunities. And there are some out there today. I'm not marrying them for the rest of my life. There's a market to have exit, and so while identifying the long-term trends are of course important, identifying short-term tactical trades are also as important for what we do, and that's one of the differences I'd say between kind of public and private real estate market. All 400 companies today are trading. I'm sure at some point in the next 12 months, all of them will go down somewhere between 10 and 25%. They shouldn't really go down, but it's an opportunity. And so there's some amount of volatility that sometimes people are afraid of, but of course there's some amount of volatility that should be an opportunity. If I told you every year there was an office building somewhere that was going to have a distressed seller on a given day, you think that was a target-rich environment. But the public market has that. We may not like that it's maybe it's at the end of the year or end of the quarter, and that's what goes to our boards and things like that. But it does create great investment opportunities.
So, based on what we've heard in previous panels, everyone is talking about coming recession or coming downturn. But the financial, and that's not unexpected because the financial crisis is now about 10 years behind us, or the resolution of the financial crisis. So, as compared to investment trends that we saw in the immediate aftermath of the crisis, or even in the medium term after the crisis, are you seeing or implementing changes in investment strategy now as you prepare for the next correction?
Yeah, so you're often asked questions about this, since for better or for worse, the real estate market, both commercial and residential, in some ways we're all part of the problem 12 years ago. And so, as you'd expect, if we screw up 2 cycles in a row and are the epicenter of a global financial crisis, we're pretty stupid. Right. We're really stupid. Bubbles very rarely recur 2 cycles in a row. So, no, I would actually argue that the REIT market has in some ways gone from maybe there was some amount of risk seeking, like a lot of people in 2007 and 8. It's definitely gone more conservative, and perhaps you've seen that in your own dealings with REITs. It's definitely gone more conservative, and there will, if anything, there might be a couple people that say some have gone a little bit too conservative in what they do, meaning kept leverage maybe arguably a little bit lower than some might like in a zero-rate environment, or kept leverage not as high as it could be in a zero rate environment. So if anything, I think the REIT market has become extremely disciplined in what it does, and just as importantly, there's lots of boards globally that were letting management teams be more liberal in the mid-2000s, and a lot of that has come under much greater scrutiny. Somewhat in the U.S., but you definitely see that in places like Europe and Australia and the UK, where sometimes corporate governance is as strong as it is in the U.S., but you've seen the biggest changes in corporate governance and that supervision outside the U.S.
Great. We only have a couple of minutes left, and just you threw me a couple of softballs when you raised the term disintermediation, and when you talked about new sectors coming into the market. So I have to ask, what impact do you see WeWork having on the market for new and exciting and different things, and for non-traditional players like service office and similar operations?
Okay, I mean, so, service office or co-working, there's some markets globally where it might have been anywhere between 30 and 70% of the net absorption, so it's been very significant. It's still not a big part of any individual market, or not a huge part, but it's grown significantly. Look, I think what happened, frankly, is a good thing. It's a rational thing. It wasn't a sensible business model. I think it's a sensible product for users. I think it'll continue to be a sensible product. It might get priced differently. And, of course, the leases will need to change over time to be more like management contracts where they're hired by landlords. And so I think it's good. To be honest, it would have been worse if it had grown even more, where it had become 15% of any market. And so while I think it's a slight negative for office markets, I think it's something that's been very manageable. Office in general hasn't been an area that we've been so positive on. Most global office markets are very finance heavy. Finance hasn't been a place of general strength, and so that's been a bit of a negative. And we're all trying to be more efficient in what we do. And so I think this is just a definitely incremental negative for traditional office.
Thank you. We have any time for questions?
Yeah, we have time for about one question if anyone has anything they want to add. Probably opening up the coffee, but we do have time for one. Here we go.
John, when are you going to run for office?
Well, well, I am in the Democratic primary, for president, but I'm just waiting.
All right. Any other questions? Well, if not, I'd like to thank John and Stephen if you could help.